Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend and someone who's helped me a couple of times with some lending, Mr. Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing really, really well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, one of the things I want to talk about here is a option on your loans that, let's be clear, I did not take advantage of, and I personally probably wouldn't take advantage of, but I do think it makes sense for some investors. And I don't want to not talk about it just because it doesn't work for me.
Right.
And that is, you offer obviously 30-year fixed.
Right.
I took full advantage of that multiple times. But you also offer the ability for the borrower to select upfront, as I understand it, anywhere from 1 to 10 years interest only. And then the loan will recast at the end of that period. Do I have that right?
Correct. But as pertains to the interest only period, it's a minimum of 5 years. You could pay only the first year if you'd like, but there's no difference in cost or fees or like that. So I always say pick 10, because it's always good to have it and not need it versus need it and not have it. So it's like, you know what I mean? If things are going well, pay the fully amortized. But if not, because it's the same cost and everything else. So if you do opt for that 10-year interest only, but it's definitely a tool to be used in certain situations for specific borrowers. But yes, I mean, for certain, situations and borrowers, it may not be the right tool, but we're going to just for cash flow.
Yeah, we're going to go into this a little deeper, but I almost forgot the marketing spiel. Did I do that already?
But that's okay. Again, but what we talked about, it's not off topic, I think. So I don't think
go ahead, do the marketing thing, and then go do the marketing thing. So we
done. Although I work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel, that of my own. So let's keep it going.
Yeah. So back to this product, because again, I think it warrants talking. So again, the minimum is 5 years, so you can't select one.
Correct.
Okay. See all these things, because I didn't select it. I didn't know. So you select 5 to 10 years. You recommend, if you're going to do it, do 10 years. Yeah. And as I sit here looking at it as someone who has his pile of monopoly houses, it's not an option I would want. But I got to remember, I wasn't always here. Right. There was a time in a market where I was finding amazing deals, but they were mainly pretty heavy fixers.
Right.
There was a time where, I was getting properties where the active rents were pretty routinely 30% under market. Right. The landlords didn't care. So, when I look at these products, I mean, there was one deal I know I would have done in like 2011 or 12. I would have loved the bank blanket loan. Because I could have just bought everything from this seller at one time, as opposed to trying to put it together over a freaking year. But that would have been a great time to use the IO.
Just for better cash flow, where you're trying to stabilize the property. That's when you need the payment relief during that period. And it gives you the flexibility. So if things have caught up and you're now stabilized the property, you got new renters in, higher rents, now pay fully amortized or whatever it is. So it does allow for the flexibility of cash flow.
So I just want to make sure I understand the loan so I don't misrepresent it. So I'm just going to use rough numbers, right? Correct me where I'm wrong. Let's assume it's a $500K loan. Let's assume, based on my credit, when I buy the interest rate is 7%. I'm just making this up.
Okay.
So I have 7% interest only for 10 years.
Yep.
Then when I start my 11th year, the loan recast as 20-year AM, because I've already burned
for the remaining balance. Correct.
Right. 2, the interest rate stays at 7.
100% correct.
Okay.
Fixed.
And it basically, the only thing that changes is my payment. I don't have to come back to you and recast a loan or new loan docs, nothing.
Nope. It's a 30-year amortized loan in the sense the rate is 30-year fixed.
Right.
30-year fixed. If you decide to, but if you decide to pay interest only for the full first 10 years, then that's at that point, you're still in the loan, the beginning of the 11th year, that's when the payment gets recasted. Otherwise, you still have that option of 30-year payment or interest only for the first 10 years.
So heavy fixers would have been something. And so this would have made a lot of sense to me, again, when I was growing, right? You go through a growth phase and you go through a kind of like, not that I'm done, but it's like, I'm being pretty picky. And,
but you can. That's
exactly. I have that luxury.
Right, sir.
Yeah. So I it's probably a product that I wrote off as, I don't want to bring it to my audience probably too quickly, because I sometimes forget where I forget where I was
where you started. Yeah. And you could have used that extra little kind of help and not stress so much. It's just like, like just, ketchup soup. And like, you're just trying to make your money go around. Yeah.
Where's the money going to come from to pay
all
this
juggling of all this. Yeah. So the cost of capital, if you can keep that down, and obviously the monthly payments, when you're needing the, most payment relief in the beginning, especially as a brand new investor, just getting off the ground. So in some cases, and that's why our ARV program is an interest only loan program. So it does help the beginning investor with that as well. So it can be a useful tool. It just got to be understood correctly and not like maybe thought of in the save all be all. Hey, if I'm doing numbers only on interest only payment, you're going to be sorely hurt, and you don't want to, make sure you're doing the work and doing the numbers.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. If you're one of my students, you better write that thing out as fully amortized. If you want to make a business decision because it's value add, let's at least make the acquisition with a full payment. Okay. No cheating. No, this is back to my arm blow up. I had a big rant about just for rate mortgages the other day. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it.
Well, I think it was one of the videos you said, it seemed like a good tool, but you might be hanging on to like a hand grenade or something like that.
Yeah, that's adjustable rate. That's exactly what I think an adjustable rate mortgage is, because I've been doing this a long time. I had 5-year seller finance deals. You have no idea how fast 5 years is. When you're working on it, like I had an apartment building with 5-year money on it. I had to recycle tenants twice because they were so low. You don't go from where you are to where you want to be in one jump. You got to go through.
No. Right.
Oh, and that 5 years just came up, and it's like, crazy.
Well, this is why I think that 10-year period of interest only is very still helpful, because it's like, an option of 10 years of interest only when you need it. It's like a safety net. And so then typically when people do need payment relief during harder times, then they have to resort to, hard money sometimes. And so then, or bridge financing, and then you got to pay more closing costs. And now that's a 2-year or under loan. And so it's just a short-term loan as well. So again, the best of both worlds, flexibility of payment relief and then fixed rate for 30 years.
Yeah, folks, if you want to get involved in any of this, or at least ask more detailed questions about your situation, your deal, Stephen, how do you want them to reach out?
Please email me at sdao@velocity, the word mortgage.com. In the subject line, just put the acronym ORAAT. In the body of the email, maybe just a brief description of what you're looking for as far as financing, property type, address would be great. If not, at least city and state, your mid-FICO score, and then best number to reach you back at. And typically 24 to 48 hours, I'll be in touch.
Let's see. It's Friday. This video is going to go out Friday. Let's see if we can't get 10 or 15 emails, and let's blow them up over the weekend.
I feel like an indentured servant to ORAT, but that's okay. No, the people have been great. I mean, really just quality listeners, and people just trying to,
see what's what,
get to that financial freedom. They're just, and a lot of them are really doing the work, and they're seeing their fruits of their labor, just like Larry. I don't want to get too much into it, but yes, I mean, they're making it happen, and yeah, he's sitting pretty nice so far from what I could see. So knock on wood, we're going to take that one down. But otherwise,
good luck, Larry.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. This has been a lot of fun. sdow@velocitymortgage.com. Remember, subject line, only 5 letters, ORAAT. Put everything else in the body of the email. Thanks, bud.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.